All right, so today I'm going to show you how to gown and glove for surgery. So this is what your gown will look like. It comes in an envelope wrapped package on the inside, and then your gloves look like this, and you have to pop them onto your sterile field that you make out of this envelope wrap. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open your gown. You're going to reach in and grab the blue wrapper. So this is what we call envelope wrapping. So if you were going to pop this onto your back table, you would put your thumb here and pull away, side toward, and then pop it. But because we're going to open it sterilely and create a little sterile field out of this wrapper, I'm going to do it on the mayo. So I want my mayo to be facing me, basically. My foot could go here to hold it, and then the mayo is away. So I'm going to put this little flap right here. So the way that you open an envelope wrap is you're going to grab this tab without reaching over it. You do not want to reach over it. You want to pull it toward you, go to the side, and pull away. Okay, so it's always, anytime you open an envelope wrap, it's going to be away, side, and then toward. So the next one, I see this flap here. So you can touch within 1 inch of a border in anything that's sterile. So you want to grab that and pull it here. Then the other side also has a tab. I'm going to pull it this way. And then finally, this tab is going to come toward me. Now you notice I did not walk around that. I did not go here. I did not go there. You want to make sure and stay in one spot. So now that I have my sterile field ready, I'm going to pop my gloves. So at no time do I want to reach over my sterile field, because that would make it possibly unsterile if any like debris or anything from my arm fell off, a hair fell off my arm, anything like that. So you never want to reach over it. So as surgical techs, we have to pop things onto our sterile field. So I will open this, making sure to not touch inside that. I'm holding that at the 1 inch border. And then I will pop my gloves out onto that sterile field. Okay, so that landed in the blue, so that's okay. If that had touched anything metal, that would have been non-sterile. All right, so at this time, I would go and I would do my surgical scrub. So if I had not scrubbed for the day, I would do my surgical scrub and come in wet. However, I have already done my surgical scrub, so I will do my surgical rub. So to do your rub, you want to get that in there. You're going to do your subungual area just like normal 30 times. Open your hand, go to the outside, the inside, and then down to the elbow. This time I'm going to get it in this hand and do these nails 30 times. Then on the top and underneath and down to the elbow. And then for the third time, I can get it in either hand, but I'm going to do it together, making sure to cover all areas in between my fingers. I'm going to get the top of my hands and then also down to the elbow in a circular fashion. All right, because I'm now surgically rubbed, I'm going to go into my OR. So the way that I would get my OR door open is I'm going to back up into it. So I go backwards into the OR. I would come here. Now, because I still have some residue from my surgical hand rub on my hands, I'm going to grab that towel quickly and come away. And then I will blot my hands so that my gown and gloves go on easier. Notice how I'm not letting that touch the front of my shirt. Same thing, making sure to dry that off of my hands. Normally at the hospital, you don't have to do that after you do like the avant-garde, but here we do that. All right, so how am I gonna pick up my gown sterilely? I don't wanna touch any of that blue wrapper, because if I touch that blue wrapper, then when I go to put my gloves on, I'm going to contaminate those gloves because my bare hands would have touched that. And remember, anytime that you do surgical hand scrub or a hand rub, you're not going to sterilize your skin. You only reduce the microorganisms that live there. So what I'm going to do, the safest thing, I'm going to touch this under the purple. This is the front of my gown that's sterile, so I cannot touch that. So you want to go under the purple. I'm going to walk it up away, then I can come away like that. So if you look at your surgical gown, anything under the purple is what's going to touch my shirt. So there's a pocket here and a pocket here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up and let it drop away. Notice I'm not near anything that can contaminate that. So to put my gown on, I'm going to grab this here and walk my arm in here. That way I'm not way up here, because up here is not sterile. And then for here, I'm going to do that as well. So when you get to this point, you want to pull these cuffs in. You do not want your fingertips to extend beyond your cuffs. All right. So to put my gloves on, this is called closed gloving. I'm going to reach in here, grab my gloves, and open them up. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go in like you're open gloving. You're just going to grab that out. So don't mess here too much, because you'll end up contaminating your gown. All right, so to put your own gloves on, the blue or the black writing is going to go down and the fingers toward your elbow. So you're going to just pop this over. And once you get it over your hand, you can start pulling at your sleeve and getting your hand to come out of the cuff. All right, so that's the first one. I'm going to reach in, making sure that I'm 12 inches away from this mayo. Again, 6.5, that's going to go down. I'm going to grab it here. This goes over my hand, and then I walk myself out. So you see how the cuff is still over most of the hand. You want to make sure that these cuffs never come out of the glove. So it's important that you keep them over your hand. You just want your fingers out. All right, so if you look at my gown, now I'm ready to do what we call spin or dance. She's gonna tie me up. So to do that, this dark blue and this light blue. So I'm gonna hold the dark blue with my hand. With my right hand, I'm gonna grab this white. I'm gonna pull that off, hand this to her, and then spin, and then I'm gonna pull that out and tie. At no time will my hands go out of this area. So your gown is only sterile from about here to here, table height. So I can't drop my hands below my waist. That would be unsterile. I don't want to really reach up, reach out. I want to keep my hands here. So one thing that I always joke about with my students is, if you want to look like a med student, go in like this, because they don't know where their hands go. They will notoriously know that you do not belong in the OR if you walk in like this. So I always tell my students, just look relaxed and keep your hands here. So that's how you gown and glove.